It's so interesting sometimes, when you think that things are going in one direction and they're really going in another. There's a court case that's going on, and I don't know if you're aware, but I still am not able to receive my mail. For some reason, the post office has stated that they don't understand what's going on themselves. How ironic is that? It's important that even when mayhem seems to be going on in your surrounding, that you still keep your cool. You still tap in with God and check and see where it is that you are supposed to be. Because the world has its own way of doing its own thing, but God is the balancer. You see, across town, you could have a woman who's looking into someone else's case and speaking on another woman's behalf that they don't even know. They know of the woman, and people may have been coming back and forth to report things about a woman, but this woman knows nothing about the other woman. All she knows is that she doesn't want her man around the woman. We all have our own interests in life, but you cannot control another human being. And the more you try to control that person, the more you're going to be met with confusion. It's one thing for the person to be your child when your child is actually an adolescent, a child. But when the person is a grown-up and you think that you can control things, I think you should think again. There are so many people who have collaborated in regards to confuse people about what's really going on. There's a couple that does not want another individual to show up in court, because if that person shows up in court, they will be looked at as liars. But the other person has not gotten any information in regards to going to the court case. So how are they supposed to show up? A lot of dark arts have been worked on. A lot of people have been following and stalking the other individual. I used to get upset about these things. I used to get so upset. But now I know that God is the one who's going to control and balance the whole thing out. You see, we can get frustrated and aggravated about things that are going on. But God is working it all out. Now, I haven't said much. I've basically been trying to motivate and elevate, because that is really one of my biggest focuses here. When we are met with people who are trying to be unfair or to treat people unfairly, we'll realize that during this time there's going to be people who are going to be met with guilt for their parts in what they played. A society of people who are not going to be well. They're not going to be feeling so healthy when they collaborated to make other people unhealthy. You see, I was asked to revisit something, and I'm supposed to come on set and do just that. So this is what I'm doing. A lot of people were warned to stop. They never did it because they had gotten away with things for so long that they felt as though they should be given another opportunity to make another person's life miserable. You see, people, when we are placed in the same shoes that another person is placed in, especially when that other person is innocent, and we want to collaborate because we want to gain something, we might throw dirt on the person's name, and we might even screenshot that person's videos and use them in other ways. But in the end, when God sees it all, it comes back to bite. We could take a wild animal out of the wild and treat it like it's a domesticated animal. But there's certain things that animal is still going to carry within it that makes it virtually impossible for that animal to be domesticated. Some animals you can do that with, but some animals you just can't, okay? So There could be a rat that is in the environment and watching the individual closely nearby. Both parties with their cell phones. One party decided they want to leave their cell phone somewhere else so they could still move around. But that nanochip still states where you are and where you've been. So for those individuals who think that they're going to continue to stalk other people, continue to carry on the same way that they've been carrying on, when that eclipse hit, it didn't miss. So remember, everything that you're doing now, what does Song of Solomon say? Everything that you do now has already been done. Now, of course, I'm putting it in my own words, but basically everything that's been done, everything that you're doing now has already been done. So there's nothing new under the sun. So let us keep that in mind while we are still acting on the same part or the same behalf as we've been in the past. It's time to clean up, and God is ready to clean up. So it's time that you make better choices so that you don't find yourself having to be cleaned up from the dirt that you have placed on that floor and not cleaned up on your own. You see, somebody needs to come clean, and somebody needs to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You see, people told me beforehand that I really wasn't related to certain individuals. I thought they were making things up. Well, certain truths are coming to the forefront, and certain truths are being told, and certain truths are being found out. So let's be like the ladybug who flies around, and when she lands in a place where she is seen and she's heard. That's been my word. Indigo Moon.